This is the Horse Radio Network.
This is episode 232 of the Dressage Radio Show on the Horse Radio Network, brought to you by Dressage and Kentucky Performance Products. This is Reese Koffler-Stanfield from Georgetown, Kentucky.
And this is Glenn the Geek from Ocala, Florida, and you're listening to the Dressage Radio Show on the Horse Radio Network. Well, howdy, Reese.
Hi, Glenn. I know I never do the intro, but Philip and Meredith are still on their honeymoon in Africa, so it is you and me.
Africa. Wow.
I know. I can't wait to hear how it goes. I am sure they're having a blast, and they were going glamping, as we like to say it. They're going on safari. So it really was. I saw the pictures of them going, of the outfit, and I could glamp. I could do it.
That
I'm
means
not a big
camping without the tent. You have a nice quarters.
Yeah.
Good
they
food.
Had quarters and showers and, people, to help them feed them breakfast. And I could handle that. It looked great.
Now, are they doing a riding one or are they doing the driving one? Because you can do it on horseback, too.
We're going to have to ask them. Yeah. I think they're driving, but we'll have to ask them when they come back. I don't think I asked them that question. So I'm not going to lie, we were sitting in a pub and they were telling us about it. So, and
you don't
we had
remember
just
much
driven.
Of it, do
yeah,
you?
we just driven 9 hours in a pub. So my information on the honeymoon's a little shaky. So I'll have to ask him when he comes back.
Well, now tell us about the wedding. Everybody's dying to know how the wedding went.
Oh my gosh, we had such a great time. So Travis and I, we ended up driving. It was sort of kind of in the range of driving. So we ended up, which was nice. Travis and I got to spend the day in the car together, which we usually we're fine with. We had a GPS this time. So we
So you didn't get everybody lost. Oh, good.
Nobody got lost, and the GPS got us there. So we headed up, and Philip had us staying in a really, really cute bed and breakfast in Fergus, Ontario, which is the cutest little town. And then there's another cute town, which I can't believe I already forgot the name of it. Philip will have to tell us. And it's a little artsy community. So super fun. We got up there, had dinner with Philip and Meredith on Thursday night. It was so generous. They had lots to do, but they had dinner with us at this cute little pub. It was next to our hotel, actually. And then we stayed in just an awesome hotel. It was a cute little boutique hotel, and they had great breakfast for us in the morning. And then I got to see Philip's horses and go to the barn, which of course I've been, dreaming over.
I saw you I saw a picture of you helping. I guess you were giving Philip a lesson in your Alaska Eskimo coat.
Oh my God. It was already so cold. I'm not going to lie. I mean, it was as cold in Canada as it probably gets here. It was starting to go a little chilly. But I was fine. I was prepared. I had my boots and my Eskimo hat and my Eskimo
You would have
coat.
never fit that coat into your luggage if you had flown up.
That is so true. I would have had to wear it on the plane because there's no way it was as big as my suitcase. But I was totally comfortable. I was going to Canada, and as we all know, I am not a cold weather kind of girl. And then Friday, Travis and I spent the day walking around the cute little town. We did. Travis forgot his suit, so we went to
in the shop.
Yeah, we went to it, and it was Philip's friend's shop, so that was fun. We got to meet and go to the shop, so that was great fun. And got Travis a beautiful new suit from the wedding, so that was fun. And then we went to the rehearsal dinner that was at Philip and Meredith's house, which was so very nice and generous for them to have us there with the wedding party. And then then the grooms, I'm usually on Team Bride, which Team Bride is much more stressful than Team Groom. So it's fun to be on Team Groom because Team Groom, we all went out to the pub on Friday night, which was great.
So you went to the strip club for the...
No, Glenn.
Okay.
Glenn. Jeez.
That's
no,
usually what
called,
Team Groom does. I was just
I don't know if there is a strip club in Fergus, Ontario.
Yeah, probably not.
Sure there wasn't. So I think we went to 3 of the 3 pubs that were in Fergus, Ontario. So that was fun. And the one pub was called the Goofy Newfie, which of course I have a Newfoundland dog, so we liked the Goofy Newfie pub. And then the next day, we traveled up to where the wedding was, which was at a really beautiful resort. And they're skiing there. It did snow. Oh my gosh, it snowed the morning of the wedding. If that had snowed like that in Lexington, the place would have shut down.
Yeah, nobody would be driving.
Yeah. So that was crazy. I'm like, can we get to the wedding? And they were laughing. The Canadians were like, yeah, you'll be fine. So that was fun. It does snow in Kentucky, but not like that. So that was great. We got to the wedding, and it was just a great night and a great ceremony. And Philip and Meredith, they are truly a wonderful couple and very much in love. So it was just great to see and great to be part.
He's kind of sentimental and emotional to begin with. I imagine he was probably a mess at the wedding.
He was a little bit, but I always love to see that. It was truly, you can see they're best friends and now going to be wonderful, wonderful couple. So it was just a pleasure for Travis and I to be a part of their weekend. And it was really, really wonderful and lots of fun. And we danced. I have to be honest, my legs were so sore. We danced for so long. we had
good exercise. It is really good exercise.
Oh my gosh. I was sore for 2 days.
Because you've had a little bit to drink and the music's playing and you don't realize that you should have stopped a half an hour ago.
Oh, no, more like 2 hours prior to us dancing. So we did. And Philip's friends are great. And of course, a lot of them are horse people. And there's just something about horse people being with horse people. And Travis even, he can jump right in now. So it was really, really a great wedding. And we can't wait to hear, when Philip gets back. But I think they had a wonderful time. And Meredith was beautiful. And even Philip looked pretty handsome.
Yeah, he did. He was all dressed up.
He was all dressed up.
We'll put a picture of the couple on our Facebook page and also in our show notes. So
definitely. I hope everybody enjoys. And Philip should be back next week, so we'll get to hear how Africa was and all the fun stuff that they got to see while they were there.
Good. And then you were playing Little Miss Rescue Lady, Little Miss State Farm along the road rescuing people. What happened there?
Yeah, this is kind of a funny story. So I had a clinic this week. It's been a very busy week, actually a couple busy weeks. And Monday, Tuesday, we had a clinic with Conrad Schumacher. He comes in the spring and the fall, and it truly is just a pleasure to have him. But I have to go pick him up in Nashville, or close to Nashville.
Oh, wow, that's a hike.
Yeah, it's a bit of a hike. And if anybody has ever driven the Bluegrass Parkway in Kentucky, it really is. It gets really rural really fast. There's, you'll go 30 miles and
if you're going to fall asleep on a road, it's going to be the Bluegrass Parkway because it's just nothing but trees.
Nothing but trees. There's nothing around. There's nothing around. So it's always my nightmare, even driving a car.
It's easy to drive because there's no traffic.
Yeah, there's no traffic. Nobody. And really nobody. And It was funny. It was one of those days I normally drive my car. But I drove my truck. I don't know. I wanted to clean my truck anyway. So I thought, well, I'll just clean the truck and okay, I'll spend a little more on gas, but I'll have a clean car. And I just want to drive my truck. So Travis even said, drive the car. And I'll drive the truck. It's fine. And I'm driving and I'm in the most rural part of this. There is not an exit for 30 miles, literally. And I see a horse trailer sort of up. And I always pay attention if a horse trailer is on the side of the road. And I could see 3 clearly young ladies, there. So I pulled over. I just pulled over and there was 2 young men with them, but I didn't know that they were with them, but they were all under the age of 20. And they had come from a hunter pace actually here in town. That was a fundraiser that I'm involved with, funny enough. And I pulled over and I introduced myself and, I said, what's going on, guys? And they said, our truck, we think the transmission broke. Oops. And I said, yeah, so they were stuck. They had 3 horses. And, I said, I can pull them. I've got my truck. And they literally were like, you have a hitch? I was like, yep. And I know how to drive that trailer. So I did. I stopped. We had unhooked the trailer, which always just freaks me out. But we found some, rocks.
Yeah, but did they leave the horses in the trailer?
Yeah, the horses. Yeah. We were literally right on the side of the road, and so we left the horses in. They pulled their truck up. I backed my truck on, and we.
It's a good thing if they were having transmission problems that they could move their truck.
I know, because that would
have been a real problem.
That was going to be a problem, is they were going to have to push the truck, and we were kind of on an uphill angle. So they were able to move the truck and get the truck out of the way. My truck, we got the trailer on, and off we went. I got 2 of the teenagers came with me. 2 of their horses were in the back, and I took them home. So I'll never forget. We had a young man do that for us many, many years ago. My mom, my sister, and I had a blowout on our truck wheel. And I now I'm going to plug U.S. Horse and Rider. I keep that service because of that. But there was a young man that did something very similar for us many years ago, and that was my day. So I was late to pick up Mr. Schumacher, but I called him and I said, "Listen, this is what's going on." And he, of all people, was very cute about it. And he said, "I'll sit at Cracker Barrel and I'll have a cup of coffee and we'll be fine." So I was about half an hour late to pick him up, but
you
it
did
all
your
worked
good
out.
deed. That's good.
I did my
you
good
paid
deed.
it forward.
I did, and so just always, I like I said, I can't stop and see a horse trailer and not help out if I can. So everything was fine, and the girls were great and so kind, and so I'm glad that I was able to do it. It made me feel really good, and they got home safely with their horses. So
well,
it was a
there's
good
nothing
thing.
worse than, as everybody knows, as having horses in a trailer sitting along the road, and when they start to get restless.
Oh gosh, yeah. And it was, it wasn't dark yet, but it was going to get dark pretty quickly. We had the time change and it was going to get dark fast yeah. So I was glad that I drove my truck and I was able to help. So it was a good day. So.
Well, good for you.
Yeah.
Good for you. And thank you to Mr. Schumacher for understanding.
Yes, he was great. And then we proceeded to have 2 days of an awesome clinic. My mare was absolutely fabulous today. It was so good to see him. And just clinics we too talk about clinics here and on the show. And they really are. They really help kind of energize you. And they energized my whole barn. We have the U.S. finals this week, which I have one horse going. And then the rest of the horses.
Which is what we're going to be talking about today.
We're going to be talking about that today. That's the show today. But I have, the rest of the horses are sort of moving into a training period of time. And I think all of us are excited to kind of back off showing a little bit and get ready to go into training. So this kind of was a nice jump start for everyone to have good goals into training the horses. So really fun and really happy to be doing that. So the clinic just energized my mare. Like I said, I had just an awesome ride today. It made me feel so good to have a good ride on her and really looking forward to pushing her to the developing pre-St. George this year. So yeah, so it's been a very, very busy week. It continues to be a busy week here. Tomorrow is also the Spy Coast Young Horse Show. So I'm taking a horse there, and I have a horse in the national finals. So it's very exciting here. Lots of fun stuff going on. Lots of cool people in town. So
now this was the first day of the U.S. Dressage finals presented by Adequan. That was today.
Yes,
and will go all the way through the weekend, right?
That's correct. It goes all through the weekend, and what they did is basically the Alltech Arena, the main arena, they left set up for the National Horse Show. So it's an absolutely gorgeous arena. Looks like an international arena and really fitting setting for the first U.S. finals. And, I can remember, the USDF and members and the powers that be have been talking about this for 20 years. So it's really, really special to see it actually coming to fruition here at the horse park. So we're all very, very happy and excited to have it here.
We have some friends from Texas that have been guests in a number of shows. She's actually a zebra person, and she wrote to me and said she was heading up to groom for some friends, but it was going to be her first time. I think it was going to be her first time at the horse park. And I've been following her on Facebook, and it is so much fun to watch somebody who's heading to the horse park for the first time when you follow them on Facebook, because it's like going to Nirvana. It is fun to watch people for the first time when they do that.
And it's beautiful here. Kentucky in the fall is just gorgeous.
It's the best time.
It is the best time. And all the burning bushes are all over the horse park, and they're all red, and the sun was shining today. So we had some rain come through yesterday, and that was thankfully was just the kind of schooling day. So today for the actual show, really, really beautiful weather, because there are some rings are inside, and then there are another majority of the rings that are outside. So it's actually a pretty compact area that the outside rings are in. It's the Hunter Complex, that people kind of know the horse park. That's where they set up the dressage rings. But the footing is excellent there. The horses have
Well,
to
they have all the good footing in all those rings.
Oh, yeah,
It
beautiful.
doesn't matter if it rains or not.
Yeah, nope, doesn't make any difference. But we are going to have it's a little bit chilly, highs in the 50s this week, but sun's going to be out for the rest of the week, so the weekend. So really, really good stuff. And all the freestyles are going to be done in the main arena, so people will get to see that and be part of that. So really, just a wonderful, wonderful time here. And really, I'm happy to share our town, and I'm happy to share the horse park to everybody. So really looking forward to the rest of the week.
And we have somebody that's traveled from California as one of our first guests, and we're going to get to her in just a minute, right after this word from Kentucky Performance Products. Well, if you're a regular listener to the show, you know we talk a lot about Kentucky Performance Products, and that's because they are a name you can trust to give you the most value for your supplement money. Kentucky Performance Products offer supplements designed to target specific problems and are made with high-quality ingredients included at effective levels. The company's supplements are intended to complement, not compete, with your dressage horse's current feeding program, guarding against over-supplementation, and each product is backed by sound research and the money-back satisfaction guarantee. And today we'd like to talk to you about Nalox, the original equine antacid. It's recommended by veterinarians and leading horsemen as a way of maintaining a healthy stomach, which reduces the risk of ulcers. Nalox can be given daily to horses exposed to stressful conditions or as needed when shipping, competing, or during stall confinement. You can learn about Nalox and all the products at Kentucky Performance Products at kppusa.com. That's Kentucky Performance Products at kppusa.com.
Well, it is my pleasure this evening to introduce Barbie Breen Gurley from California. Barbie is here in Lexington, Kentucky for the U.S. Dressage Finals, and I'm so excited that she came on the show. She is a S judge, and she brought a beautiful FEI horse. Barbie, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much for having me.
So, Barbie, tell us a little bit about your horse and your journey here to Kentucky.
Well, I'm so excited to be here. I bought this horse from BG Bar Ranch in Hanford, California. He's a Dutch Warmblood, a 007 colt. I got him at 3, and I brought him up through the levels, and he's really been a pleasure. I've had some horses in the past that are a lot more high maintenance, and he just has a good head on his shoulders. So it's really been a pleasure that we can actually enjoy this competition. The trip out was uneventful. He traveled very well, and he's just settling in. So it's really fun to be able to, just get down to work of what we know to do without all the other things that so often occur, when you're traveling, when you're competing. So 2 years he's come up through the levels in California. 2 years ago, I did come back for the developing pre-St. George finals, and he did very well. It was a tough trip because it was very hot, and he had to be banned. It took a 4-day trip, and both of us were kind of surprised and difficult to exhale when we got out in the weather. It was very hot and humid. But he ended up 8th in the country 2 years ago, and then this year again he qualified at our annual show to come to this, and I just really wanted to make the trip. I had not competed in Kentucky. I'd only attended a judging forum here. It's such a beautiful facility. So it's just really an honor, and I'm really excited. We're having a wonderful time.
And how is he doing? We had quite a weather change. It was 70 degrees yesterday, and I think the high today was 50. So how's he doing with the school weather?
Yeah, well, he's doing all right. When I was watching the weather from California, it looked fairly similar. And then it did a little rain yesterday, and then this morning coming out, boy, I was just in warming him up. It was really, really cold. It was a surprise for me.
Welcome to Kentucky, where the weather will change every 5 minutes.
It'll be different tomorrow.
Yes, yeah.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, no, it was good. I mean, he was up for it, and it actually probably was good that it wasn't really warm because it's still a long trip. It was two days and about 8 or 10 hours. But I'm glad that it wasn't real hot weather because that really would have sapped, the energy he's trying to recover from the trip right out of him. So It was cold, but it was good. It was beautiful. It was not raining, and it wasn't real windy, so I was very pleased.
Super. So tell us, you're competing at I-1, correct?
Well, today I did just a warm-up class.
Okay.
I did this year in competition, I did the I-2 all year, and I did the I-1 freestyle. So today, just as a warm-up, I did the I-1, and he actually ended up second, only by 1 point behind first.
Super.
And it wasn't even his very best ride, so I'm pretty excited for, for him coming back and, giving me even better rides and us communicating even better. But Saturday night will be the intermediate freestyle, and that's the finals. And then on Sunday, I'm going to do one intermediate 2, just to wrap it up before we get back in the van and head home.
Wonderful.
What do you think the U.S. Dressage Finals, what's it kind of mean to you? Obviously we're talking the first time here. So, can you express why you made the trip and what it kind of means to you?
Mm-hmm. Sure. Yeah, you bet. It's the first year that they've done this, with USDF doing all of the levels up, regional champions and reserves, and then some wild card rides coming in. So it's a first timer that they've done that. The event location, being here at the horse park was just so enticing. It was a great honor we got a reserve that brought us here. But also, I don't know, I've been doing this a while. I'm a grandma. And I work out and I work very hard to stay healthy and do this. And I'm very active still and very grateful for that. So it meant a lot that we qualified. We've got to do it. I just think it's important to live for the day. One never knows, what tomorrow holds. And just for kind of those reasons. And he's a really good horse. And I wanted to see how we did alongside people that, go to Florida. I've never done that. I've competed back east a couple times, but still, it was just a great honor to get selected, and it was a great adventure to make the trip. And the fact that it's the first timer that they've done this kind of thing, it's just, I had to do it. I just had to do it.
Oh, absolutely. So tell us a little bit about the indoor that you'll go in on Saturday night. I've heard that it's really, really beautiful in there. How does it look?
Oh, it is beautiful. We came in last night. I walked him around once earlier, and then last night we came on in, or later in the day anyway. It's just beautiful. I mean, it looks like an international.
Now, is this is at the new All-Tech Arena?
The All-Tech Arena,
Yeah.
right?
It is, yeah, it sure is. And they've just done a beautiful job. It's gorgeous, and with all the seating up and around, and, it's going to be probably pretty full Saturday night because, again, it's evening classes, and people always really come out for that. So it's being run beautifully, and I know the announcer, it's Nico, and it's always fun, because he knows me very well from California, and I know him, and it's been fun just seeing some familiar faces. Most people I do not know, but, there's a few through the years, judges and other competitors, and so forth. So it's very exciting, and when you're entering it at A, and then just all that excitement and beauty, and excellent footing, and well lit. So it's just really going to be played as a beautiful venue.
Isn't that interesting, too, that's kind of the exception to the rule?
Yeah. Not good.
In this country, anyway.
More and more places are getting good footing.
I know.
But it's just so special. We have some beautiful venues in California, but this is just the cherry on top. This is really beautiful.
It should be. The state of Kentucky paid a lot for it. So
I'm still paying taxes.
Yeah, you're still paying for it, Reese.
There you go.
I am paying for it. Yeah, I'm glad everyone is enjoying it.
There you go. Thank you, Kentucky.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, what are some challenges that you're and some strength that you're going to work on at the I-1 and the freestyle? What are some things you're anticipating?
Well, what I realized today, the first day was, I rode 2 days ago. That was his first ride, and he felt strong, but he felt tired, and I kept it short. And yesterday, I wanted to get to the various arenas, and I did mostly just stretching through work, just, real basics, just putting him over his back and working his gaits. I just did a couple movements, and then today I was just careful in the warm-up to not overdo because, again, I know he's tired. That was a big trip and quite an ordeal out of our ordinary. So in the only mistake I had in the whole darn thing was a pirouette, that he felt like he kind of backed off a little bit, and I was trying to help him to stay out in front of me, and he lost his balance and had a little problem coming out. So I've got to be careful with that, feeling that he doesn't have the usual reserve, or there's more leeway for me to make a correction. So I will be just more refined and more careful, and yet he's got to stay out in front. He's just got to load it and carry it. So I've got to be very careful again in the warm-up and just be aware that, wow, that's never happened, but it could. So, I'll be a little bit more gingerly in preparation for that. Other than that, he feels good and strong, and I felt he gave me all he could. I didn't push for everything. He was generous. I was grateful, and I didn't push things, and yet it was still a very pretty ride. So
I love that statement.
I'm very proud of him.
He was generous, and I was grateful. I really like that. That's good.
Well, Barbie, thank you so much for joining us today. And by the way, people might recognize your name because they might have a certain book of yours on the shelf.
That's true. I have co-authored a book with a good friend and a client of mine. It's called Enlightened Riding. Thanks for mentioning that. It's a holistic approach to dressage. There are many books on the technicalities, but I just feel, even in writing and training and in my philosophy about this, it's a really holistic approach. You have to be willing to uncover all stones and even get creative to look for more. And the rider's part is such an important part in this, that we can bring out the best in our horses and help them to enjoy it and want to do this work with us.
And
so the more clear we are.
Isn't it its second edition too? I mean,
we're reprinting right now. Thanks so much. I didn't know that you'd even know, but thank you. Yeah. So,
well, congratulations on that. Anytime you can get a reprint on a book you write is a good thing.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's right. That means somebody's buying it.
Because we had to self-publish, and that's a whole other story. But no, we're almost ready to reprint. We're right on the very, very edge. I'm very excited.
Well, where can people buy it?
You can go to our website, which is seahorseranch.com, and then there'll be a link to Enlightened Riding. And I have had it in Dressage Extensions out of California. I'm trying to get it back in there. We also have 5 CDs, compact discs, to listen to, guided imagery to help folks. Let's see. Should I mention what they are real quick?
Sure. What the heck?
Sure. Go ahead. Go for it.
Okay, one is on Shield of Courage, and that's to help people with areas of fear. One is called Stellar Showing, and that's just ideas to think about when you're competing, just to stay focused to what's coming so that you're prepared, and if you have a problem, let it go and get on to the next rather than, dwell. One is called the Pyramid Effect, which is kind of more of a whole overview of holistic approach. One of them is Vision Quest, which is if you can get cemented in your mind more clearly, wrap your head around what goals you have, you're going to be more effective in your ride, whether it be by the day or by the season. And then the last one was Healing the Loss of Your Equine Partner, and that's for when you've lost one of your most special horses. And just to help, I lost a very wonderful companion of mine, horse I love dearly. And it was so hard. And I have to say that even having been involved in writing this with my co-author, it helped me a lot. That I can have, I still, miss him horribly, but it's not that horrible feeling as it was. I was able to kind of shift. So anyway, I think they're very valuable. Just again, my focus is for the rider to do the very best they can. We need to work on it because so much rests with us. And if we're going to lead our horses, we need to be leaders. And so we have to be willing to become the best in all areas of our life, I believe, to be a reliable and a solid leader to our horses.
Well, I think
so. The CDs just help with that.
I think too. I really like the fact that we have a rider at your level talking holistic, because it's not something that we see a lot with professional riders. So I like that. I've learned so much. Dr. Wendy Ying's my co-host on the driving radio show, and she's a veterinarian as well as a traditional Chinese medicine doctor. And I've learned so much about qi and about the 5 elements and how they all relate to everything. And it does open your eyes when you start looking into some of these other things that are out there.
Absolutely.
And holistic is just a different version of that, basically.
I
So
agree, and you're here. Good for you.
Enlightened Riding is what it's called, and you can find it at seahorseranch.com. Thank you, Barbie, and good luck this weekend. We'll be rooting
Good
for you.
luck.
Thanks so much. I sure enjoyed it. Thank you, guys.
Glenn the Geek here. The life of horse person is hard enough, and we all hate doing the required paperwork, and unfortunately many of us never get around to it, and it just piles up on our desk. That is about to change thanks to the EquiSketch Records app for your iPhone or iPad. My wife and I use it to track our horses, and we absolutely love this thing. EquiSketch Records is the most thorough and complete equestrian records app on the market today. We love this app because you can track your farrier work, your dental, your coggins, medicines, worming, and so much more. And you can get reminders on your device when all of these things are due. You'll never forget a worming or shots or farrier visit again. But it not only tracks your horse, you can also manage your horse shows, including individual events. You can manage riders, including lessons and memberships, and so much more. And you can sync it between your iPhone and your iPad, and all of this for the price of a couple of cups of coffee from Starbucks. Search for EquiSketch Records in the iOS App Store or go to equisketch.com. That's EquiSketch.com. EquiSketch.com.
Well, it is my pleasure to have our friend Jody Kelly, FEI trainer from Destin, Florida, on the show tonight. Jody, how are you?
I'm fantastic.
Well, we love it that you come on our show. You're a great friend to us, and we appreciate it. And you are here in very chilly Lexington, Kentucky. You are coaching, is it 2 different ladies for the weekend?
I am. I have 2 different adult amateur riders here. One doing the first level championships with her young horse and one doing the third level championships.
Great. Well, tell us a little bit, how you and your ladies decided to kind of take this route and come to the finals for the first time.
You know what? These 2 ladies, I am so proud of them, and I'm so happy to have this national finals for them. And it's such a great thing for the adult amateurs to have something to really, really go for and really gear up. And, I know it's a big thing for the open riders too, but I feel like the open riders have so many other opportunities, our young horses for the National Young Horse Champs and then for the, Festival of Champions and all of that stuff. But for our amateurs, they gear up. My girls always gear up all year to go to regionals. And then it's like, yay, now what? And so when this came about, I had one of mine, the third level rider, her big goal was to get her bronze medal. And she actually has a really, really cool story, the way she got here. She had a big goal, which she's going to kill me for telling her age, but she had a goal to get her bronze medal by the time she turned 50. And she was well on her way, making her, following the track that we had planned out. And her horse actually had a reaction, like, we're not exactly sure how it all came about, but he foundered a couple summers ago, actually. And it was all due to like anhydrosis and like basically just the heat in Florida. And it all came to a head and he ended up foundering. And it was truly a fight for his life. He spent months up at Auburn. They went back and forth, did everything you can possibly imagine as an owner to save his life. And like they gave him, it was let's try to keep him alive first. We can't guarantee he's ever going to work again. He not only pulled through, he is sound, he is working, and she got her bronze medal 2 months before her 50th birthday, and that was last year. And this lady, she's always been very quiet and very she sets her goals and then makes a plan. And while we were sitting there last year celebrating her bronze medal, we were like, okay, what's your next goal? And she was like, I want to qualify for the national finals 1 year. 1 year, somewhere in the years to come of these national finals was her goal. And the very first year, she went to regionals this year at third level and had a fantastic ride, and she ended up reserve champion. And she was the first rider in her class to go. And, of course, it went for hours. And she was an 8 o'clock ride Saturday morning, and she sat there and watched the scoreboard for the rest of the morning as she realized that her score was looking like it was going to do something. So that was the most nerve-wracking several hours of her life. But she made it. And so here this horse went from we were hoping to keep him alive too. She has earned her bronze medal on him, and now here she is at the national finals doing third level, and she just wrote her first fourth level test on him at our last show, and she's your classic adult amateur. She works full time. She's director of marketing at a big hospital. Her husband works full time. This is just what she does for her, for fun, for her pastime, and she rides, at night after work. She rides early in the morning before she leaves, and he's her one horse. They have a couple other horses or one other horse, kind of a pasture pet, but he's her one show horse that she's just slowly been coming along with. So I'm really, really proud of her for being here. And then my other one, actually, it has a kind of a cool story as well. She has always owned horses, and she actually she imported a mare years ago that from Holland that we helped her find, that she wanted to start a little breeding program, and she's bred this mare several times. And then one of the foals from this mare, I ended up training, and it's one that I brought up here to the Young Horse Championship years ago. And the horse that my student is riding here is the baby from that one, from that mare. And so she bred him herself, and he was born at her house. I've ridden him some, but she's the only person that's ever ridden him. She started him. She's brought him along. He's just this wonderful, wonderful, sweet horse that she's done all the work on herself. And she has her own farm near her, and so he goes back and forth. Actually, both of them have their own farms, so they both go back and forth with their horses. And so he's a 6-year-old doing first level, and she set her mind to it, and she's well up there with the Horse of the Year stuff. Her scores have been super. And so as she was qualifying for regionals, she's like, I'm going for nationals this year. And she gunned for it, and she has trained for it, and she's worked really hard for it. And on a horse that was the very first one to ever sit on, and was there when he was born. And yeah, it's pretty special. And then it's kind of fun. We just got here today, and we were scouting out all the arenas, and his championship test is in the arena where I rode his mother in the Young Horse Championships. So, she was all excited about that. So,
I remember
really
when
fun.
you did that.
Yeah,
I remember. I watched
ago.
that ride.
Exactly.
That's fun.
Yeah, and
I love it.
so I was there the year after this horse. Her horse that she's showing now is Camus. I was here the year after that horse was born. So, yeah, it's really cool. So it's exciting, and she has this little breeding program on the side, but she also works full time. Again, typical classic adult amateur that, I love it. I love this for them. And they have been, when they both qualified, it made it so much more fun at regionals. It was like a big celebration, and it just gives them that extra, thing to work for. And they've been planning their trip, and they traveled up here together, and the horses traveled great. And we stopped over at a friend's farm halfway here, and and everybody's been gunning for them. It's been really fun to watch, because we have an adult horse camp in our area that's our local club, and all of the adult amateur riders, that go to it. And they skipped the camp because it was just last weekend and we were getting their horses ready, but they came out to watch the camp, and everybody was so excited for them. And Beth said, I feel like a kid, on Christmas. And she said she's been texting me 3 days before they left, and she's like, I'm so excited. I'm useless at work. I have fun. They're just so excited to be here and do this. And, the arena, the Altec arena looks beautiful. I've seen it several times for different situations, and it looks amazing. It looks better than I've ever seen it. And,
Jody,
it's just
Jody,
really fun.
I gotta say, Jody, Reese and I know you. You've been on this show and other shows here on the Horse Radio Network. We talked about your family and what they do. We've talked about your riding. I have never heard you so excited as when you're talking about your students. You don't get half this excited when we talk about you.
Yeah. I'm just so proud of them. I've ridden with them all for so long. I was with Beth when she was riding her little thoroughbred that hated dressage, and I was with Cindy when she was riding her other gray horse that it was all we could do to keep him in the arena. And, they both have these great horses now, and they're coming along, and they're out of training level. And, they've been with me so long. It's fun. And it's Excitement from them is contagious.
Well, and from you. Don't
Yes.
underestimate your excitement, because I'll tell you what, I've seen the same thing too. We've interviewed thousands of people here in the Horse Radio Network, and a lot of them trainers and every professional rider out there practically. And when I see the difference, when I hear how excited you are, you can tell when a person gets that excited about their students, they're a really good coach. When you hear the riders that are more excited about talking about themselves than their students, they tend to not be as good a coach. They're a good professional rider, but not as good a coach. And that's how I can sort of tell the difference. And Reese is the same way when you talk about your students.
That's very
And Philip,
sweet.
especially Philip, too. He gets so
Philip,
excited
too.
about his students. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just so fun. And I ride every test with them, and I do it. Don't get me wrong. I would kill to be here going down Summerlin instead of my own
Touche,
horses.
sister. Touche.
Don't discount that. But I am so happy for them. You know what I mean? And that's the thing is, and I actually was saying that to one of my friends today, because I could be here too if I had thought a little bit more through. I could have at least been attempted to qualify, and my horses are kind of all in between. And I actually, for the first time, we were talking about it at regionals. I think it's the first time ever that I didn't have any horses at regionals, just because I kind of was, between levels and pushing through for different things. And I decided it's really difficult for me to take so many students to regionals and my own horses. And last year it was wild. I was showing 6 and I had a ton of students. So I decided this year was just going to be about them. And of course, this is the year of the national final. I was like, well, shoot, that was a bad plan for me.
Bummer.
But at the same time, it's great. It really is. It's nice to be able to be here for them. I know for sure I'm not going to have any conflicts with my rides. I'm just 100% here for them. So
Well, we do have a question for you
fun.
now. This is the first year for this. How's so a lot of times shows the first year are have a lot of hiccups. How's this one doing show organization wise?
You know what? So far, I've been very impressed. Granted, we just got here. We don't start showing till tomorrow. So I can't speak 100% as far as the actual showing, but I've been here now all day. I got here this morning. The stabling area is fantastic. We are in the heated barn, which we greatly appreciate coming up from Florida. But the horses have settled in great. So far, we were just bragging to somebody about the park itself, and the people everybody we've talked to, from the people helping us park to the people doing the food to in the stabling area. Everybody's been super friendly, super helpful. I haven't run into any roadblocks whatsoever of, this isn't going to work. No, you can't do that. And, everybody has been very, very helpful and pleasant. And so far, everything, the rings look beautiful. All of the rings, the indoor looks incredible, better than I've ever thought it could look, actually. And then the outdoor arenas look beautiful too. And the flowers are lovely. And so far, I can't say enough good things about it.
Great.
So, yeah, we're happy.
Well, Jody, we here at the Horse Radio Network have our fingers crossed for your 2 ladies, and we cannot wait to hear how they do. And Jody, you have a great website. How can people find you online?
JodyKellyDressage.com.
Great. Well, fingers crossed for your ladies, and we want to hear next week how they do.
Absolutely.
I will for sure keep you posted. Thank you so much for having me again.
It's always fun to talk to Jody. She is so enthusiastic.
She is.
She is just,
Oh
and
my
she's always that
gosh.
way. She is always that way.
She's that way in person, too. She's great.
We had her on the Stable Scoop radio show to talk about the town of Destin and growing up there in Florida along the Gulf Coast. And her dad is in the fishing business and runs boats and charters and things. And she talked all about that. And she was as enthusiastic talking about that she is talking about horses.
She is. Oh, yeah. She's awesome. She is awesome. So I'm so glad she was on the show, and how fun to have her as a coach here at the finals. And, the finals are filled with stories like Jody's and about riders. And it is wonderful to have a show like this for amateurs.
I think it's already a success, and it's not even, it's just started.
It's not even over. Yeah. Just people have enjoyed and come from all over the country. And it really, I'm so glad that we have finally have something like this. This is regionals has been the big goal, but to have another goal after regionals is pretty awesome. So it's very cool that we have that to offer. So, I'll be there all weekend and kind of seeing how and what's happening there. And I look forward to reporting a little bit more about
pictures.
it next week. I will. Oh, yes. I will.
Hey, take a picture of the arena. She's been talking about the arena. I haven't
know.
seen
How
any
pretty.
pictures of it yet. So post that
Okay.
on Facebook. When you get
Okay.
a chance.
I will do that. I will get on over there and post that for sure.
Hey, we did have a listener email from Becky in New Zealand. And Becky, I wanted to acknowledge that we did get your email, and we really appreciate you, listening and writing to us. I think the topic that she was bringing up is probably too much for us to cover here on the show. It could be an entire whole thing by itself. So I'm not sure it's something that we want to tackle right now, but we do appreciate you writing in, and it's just it's a kind of a complicated answer to a very complicated situation, but we certainly appreciate what you're going through down there, and our thoughts are with you at this point. So
yeah, and we love emails and Facebook shout outs, so keep them coming. We always love them.
Well, that's it for this week. I recorded 4 shows today, and I know you've been busy with clinics and shows and rescuing people alongside the road. So going to weddings and everything else.
Going to weddings. So next week we have Philip back, and I'm sure he'll tell us all about.
Nobody wants to hear me for another week.
It's been a long time since I've had you as a co-host, and I always love it.
You know what? You owe me one now. You have to do the morning show with me some morning.
I will. But everyone, you can find our show notes and links to today's guests on our website at dressageradio.com. You can like us on Facebook. Just search for Dressage Radio Show. You can follow us on Twitter at Horse Radio. My website is maplecrestfarmky.com, and my email is reese@horseradionetwork.com.
We want to thank our sponsors, Kentucky Performance Products and EquiSketch, for being sponsors for today's show. Don't forget, you can get the new iPhone or Android app. Just search for Horse Radio Network. All of our shows are on there, all 11 of them. And even the new shows. We have 3 new shows that have just come out. Horsemanship Radio by Debbie Laux, Monty Roberts' daughter, is doing a show all about good horsemanship. It's been a lot of fun. I've enjoyed that one. And then Blaze Kids Radio. If everybody just has to check this out just because it's completely different than any show we've ever done. It's hosted by a 12-year-old. And it is a lot of music in it. It's just a lot of fun. It's definitely made for kids, but adults are liking it too. And then the third one is called Chasing a Fox. Lena B. and Sissy Finn from New England are doing a show about fox hunting and attire and all of the accoutrements that go with fox hunting. So you can listen to that. It's called Chasing a Fox. You can find them all on the app. Just search for Horse Radio Network in your app store on your iPhone or your Android phone. That's all I've got, Reese.
I love it. Well, everyone, keep your heels down and your shoulders back, and we'll talk to you next week.